You can go ahead, Eileen.
Hi, my name is Eileen Mammen, and I'm open to taking questions. Let me know by just sending something through chat. I hope everybody's well during these very unusual times. I'm going to talk about our topic today. Is your fifth grader ready for middle school writing? And that's a very important question. One of the things that we need to consider is how the brain works in humans. In elementary school, which is probably up to grade 5 in most cases, in some cases it's grade 6, there's a very concrete way of thinking. And that concrete way of thinking means that everything is obvious and everything is very literal. So when a fifth grader is asked to write or do any kind of schoolwork, the answers are usually in bold or they're identifiable. And if they find the bold answers, which are there, and they copy them down, they will get the answer correct. So they're more like detectives. With the writing aspect, what a fifth grader does is they report what they read. And that means a good book report. Reporting means that they tell the teacher in their writing what the book is about. When we get to middle school, it's a little bit more complicated. What that means is we go to the second level of thinking, and the second level of thinking is inference. In the second level of thinking, things and answers are not obvious. The student has to not only read the material, but figure out what's actually being said, which is not going to appear in front of them as a form of an answer or context. They're going to have to do that themselves. The second level thinking means that we're getting away from book reports, which are reporting what the book is about, but it's more analyzing the book. What was the author saying? What was the purpose of the writing? And what did the student get out of it? So if a student has not done any analysis before and does not have good English skills, middle school writing will come as a shock. So the concern really is, has your child written enough in elementary school? And written enough means practicing enough. If the student has not, then analyzing it is going to be difficult because they didn't even get enough practicing when they had to practice book reports. Does the student have a good vocabulary? Vocabulary means we get away from words that are not academic and kid speak to vocabulary words that do a lot more impactful answers and actually give more definition to what we're saying. How is your child's grammar? Is your child using grammar correctly? Is your fifth grader comfortable recognizing grammar mistakes? If that is not the case, then I would consider that that might be an issue. On top of everything else, we've had this interruption in one-on-one teaching, which means that if your child hasn't written enough, if your child doesn't have very good grammar, and if your child is lacking in vocabulary skills, with this shelter in place, it's going to impact them even more. Does anybody at this point have any questions for me before I go any further? I don't know who's out there. Welcome, whoever you may be. My name is Eileen Mammen, and I was a teacher in Pleasanton and Dublin Unified School Districts, as well as San Jose School District and Hayward Districts. If anybody has any questions, please send me a chat so I can answer it. If there's no questions, I'm just going to pontificate a little bit more. Okay, so only the parent and the student knows if the writing is really up to par or not. But what we do know is that in middle school, there's higher expectations. The expectations are that when you read something, you're going to be able to write about it. And if you use it as a book report opportunity, you're probably not going to get a good grade. If your skills are lacking, then that's going to be more difficult for somebody to write about. Again, more importantly, if a student does not understand what they read, and this would be reading comprehension, they're going to have a very difficult time analyzing what they don't understand as far as the reading. So I want everybody out there to listen to my famous quote that reading and writing are like breathing. Reading is taking in information, so you're inhaling, and writing is giving out information like exhaling. So it is life. Breathe in, you read. Breathe out, you write. And if both are not strong, there's going to be kind of a fall down effect. Okay, you're going to be gasping for breath, so to speak. Okay. The other thing I also want to mention, and I do have a question. Okay. Let me see what my question is. Okay. If there's I can't see everybody, so please, if you have a question, don't raise your hand because I can't see you. Please, or type, because I can't see you guys out there, but you can see me, I can't see you. So please write and let me know if you have a question. Okay, so the other thing about English is, and I'm sure parents know this, we are a very literary society. And we're very much connected through electronics, as we are right now. You are what you are on paper. When I went to college and I applied for a job, it was a face-to-face interview. I had to stand on lines to apply to college, and then hopefully I was on the wrong line. I had to get off the wrong line to get onto the right line. It was a face-to-face. It was a hand. It was turning over your money in a check. Now we're not like that at all. Now everything is online. So the person reading your child's work, whether they apply to college or they receive their essay or we apply for jobs or we make presentations, only sees us on paper. And they don't know how wonderful we are. They don't know how much work we put into it. All they do is they see us on paper. That can either be an eliminating factor where they don't like what they see and we lose an opportunity, or it could be an entrance opportunity where that allows us in. So English is very important because when you use the language correctly, it does open doors. Before it opens up all those doors, English academically proves to be a vehicle for all other disciplines as well. When your English improves and you learn how to write and you learn how to understand better through reading and your vocabulary increases and your grammar gets better, every single subject increases and gets better with it because English is the foundation to our existence. Math improves. How many times do parents come to me that my child can do the calculations, but they don't understand what the question is that's being asked. Therefore, they don't get the right answer. Math improves. Of course, science improves as well, because science is, again, about forming hypotheses, writing about experiments, writing about conclusions. When your English improves, science improves. When you're able to read a scientific journal and you know what the journal is proving, then of course you do better. Social studies or history improves dramatically because it's all about people, places, events. If you've ever taken a look at a social studies or historical textbook, it's overwhelming. There's so much information. When you understand what to look for and you understand what the text means and you understand how to write about text, history improves. Biology improves, which is a form of science, because basically you're analyzing, you're putting together data, and you're forming conclusions and cause and effect. So when your English improves, everything improves with it. Your life improves as a result. So please think of English as building blocks. The challenge to teachers today is that we have to be proficient in our field online. So I found a way to edit papers online. I found a way to teach grammar online through new and inviting tools, and a way to also do vocabulary and grammar and reading comprehension online. We were thrown into this. I'm beginning to master it with a couple of glitches along the way that I'm working on. But we're doing it because we don't know when we're going to see our students again. So we have to do it online, and we have to be proficient at that. Okay, I have a question here. Okay, so thank you for asking, and sorry I can't see you. What does the syllabus look like for 6th grade? Okay, well, it looks like your 6th grader is going to be your oldest child. First of all, they don't have recess anymore, so they're not treated like in elementary school. They have math, they have social studies, they're allowed to take a band subject. In English, they need to have reading comprehension skills. So there's going to be 6th grade books that follow curriculum. With those 6th grade books, they're going to have to answer comprehension questions and write about it. Their grammar, they're going to be given certain grammars that they have to do. I think 6th grade is going to be finding contextual evidence. It's also going to be doing adverbs and prepositions. And it's going to be a whole new world of finding quotes and using quotes within context. For some children, that's an eye-opener because they've never seen it before. So again, it's not the teacher's fault that they're teaching to 30, 35 students in a classroom. They've been teaching to 30, 35 students online. It helps if you've had some experience with that in 5th grade. And if you have not, then it's going to be a bit of a culture shock in 6th grade. Because now all that they learned is going to be tested and put to use. I don't know if I answered your question all the way. I guess the most important thing in 6th grade will be that they will be doing a little bit of writing, getting away from reporting and analyzing a little bit. They're going to be doing a little bit more in-depth grammar. The vocabulary is going to be a little bit more important. And then the quotations and learning the basic building blocks for putting together a 5-paragraph essay will start a little bit, and there will be curriculum reading. Hopefully your child can read well, understand what they read, and be able to analyze that through comprehension questions and writing. Any other questions right now before I continue? No other questions? Okay. The other thing that's important about 6th grade to remember is that they are taking that leap. And there's a great big leap from elementary school to middle school. And what that means is, I'm just responding here, sorry. What that means is, as your children get older, they're going to want less help from their parents, and they're going to be expected to get less help from their parents. A teacher in 6th grade will know whether the child mentions it or not, whether they've had the basic understanding and education in 5th grade, and whether a parent has helped them, or in this case, whether a parent can help them. It doesn't mean that a parent's not intelligent. It just means that maybe they're not familiar with some of the new ways that are being taught. And it could be that maybe a parent wasn't taught the same things that your child is being taught, and you're basically both learning it together. But one thing is for sure, that the child is going to push back just a little bit because now they're older. They're going to have a full day with 6 teachers versus just 1 classroom teacher, and they're going to have a decent amount of homework to do. So my feeling as an English teacher is, just like in math, where you get math homework every night and you practice, 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 your children should be reading and your children should be writing at every opportunity. So again, as an English teacher, I'm not saying that your children need to read literature all the time, and they don't have to read curriculum reading all the time. They have to read a wide variety of materials and understand what's being said in our society. They should be reading a little current events. maybe even a comic book or two, because we have graphic novels that they will be reading in middle school and high school, a trade journal, or a how-to instruction booklet about how to put things together. That's what our curriculum is about. It's about teaching children all the varied ways to write and exposing them to the different ways of writing. Ultimately, my final destination is to have my students in grades 5 and beyond write for me a 5-paragraph essay. And I don't mean that they report to me like a book report. I mean that they write an analysis of what they read. That's usually my final project. And they're usually very proud of it, but very uncomfortable because I don't think they're doing that in 5th grade. And I don't think they're doing that even way up to 8th grade. But yet it's still expected when they go to high school. Middle school should be looked at as the beginning of 2nd level thinking. And 2nd level thinking is a lot of inference and ways to learn new material. If your children do not have the foundations to learn new material, and that's without memorizing, and then that's without reporting, getting to 3rd level thinking, which is high school and beyond, is going to be very difficult. So 1st level thinking is concrete, 2nd level thinking is inferential, and your child is starting to read between the lines and think for themselves and use their creativity. 3rd level thinking is when they're in high school and they not only use all this new material, but they connect all those dots, which is where we are in high school. This is definitely where we are in college and as adults in society. Any other questions out there that I can answer before we basically close our conversation? Okay, let's see. Do I have any 5th graders out there that want to ask me a question? Or basically any 6th grade 6th grade students out there that want to ask a question, or parents that have anything? Okay, if you do have a 5th grader, would anybody like to type me a message about what you've experienced in 5th grade and whether what I said makes any sense at all? Okay, if you do have a 5th grader, let's see. Okay. I don't have any access to videos. So if you have a question, you can unmute yourself. If not, please type it for me because I very much want to see if I can help. If you have a 5th grader, have you seen them write better? How much of their day do you spend writing? What have you seen them write in school? I know they come home with math. I see that all the time. One thing, if I don't have any questions, one thing I would like to leave everybody with. Okay, I've got a question. What can they do to prepare during summer? Okay. One of the things they can do is read and write over summer. Different types of writing. At Talent Nook, we have reading and writing programs that are well orchestrated, where we actually have material printed as classes, and they can get different varieties of reading and writing material before the week starts. What that means is we'll have it all downloaded and prepared. We're already preparing our curriculum now, different types of reading in very small classes. Small classes, grades 1 to 3 have a maximum of 4 children, 4 to 1 as a teacher ratio, teacher-student ratio. Grades 4 and up to 9, we have 6 to 1. And we're able to accomplish a lot and get individual attention. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with a couple of thoughts. English mastery and writing is all about practice. Math is about practice. Driving a car is practice. Playing an instrument is practice. Building a house is practice. Cooking is practice. If you do not write and you do not read, you are not getting practice. So therefore, it's not just going to fall from the heavens and end up in your lap and get into your brain. It's just not going to happen that way. One of the issues I have as an English teacher is that a lot of people don't like to write, they don't want to write, and they consider writing to be a chore. So what do we do about that? We make writing and reading fun. How do I make it fun? By picking things that they enjoy reading about. By making writing not a chore, but we make writing something where we can express our voice. And we also write within a group where we actually peer edit. So everybody's writing because everybody wants to read what somebody else is doing. So it's very, very interactive. It's actually fun. Let's see. Okay. My son can read 24 hours a day, can talk about it, but cannot write 3 paragraphs. Yes. Okay. That I've heard before too, and thank you for reaching out to me. So what happens if a student can read and understands what they read, but can't write? Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. Maybe there's language issues which need to be worked on. How about some vocabulary? How about some grammar? It's probably all in the head. So what we have to do is unleash it. We have to expose ourselves to writing. We do baby steps. Baby steps are, maybe we don't want them to write 3 paragraphs at one time. Let's start with 1 sentence. Let's start with a paragraph. Then we can go to another paragraph. Another thing I'd like to say is that writing increases confidence. If you don't have confidence in your writing or you've had some bad experiences, why would you want to write? I would avoid it too. If you've had bad experiences, no matter what it is, you're going to avoid it. So what we have to do is, once again, make writing a lot of fun. We need to encourage it, that not only is writing a skill, but writing is something where you can express yourself and let all those wonderful thoughts here come out on paper. It can be done because we've seen it over the last year. We're new at this. I'm new to the program. I started a bridge program. I've got 5th and 6th graders that were sorely lacking in language skills. And all I got from them when I gave them a test was 1 or 2 sentences that were very poorly constructed. And I put my head down in my hands and said, what are they doing in English class? What is happening here that they can't write for me? So with that, my mission is to get them to write. And we do. First of all, we set what needs to be in a paragraph. We give vocabulary skills and grammar skills so they're empowered. And then I don't expect a paragraph all at once. We do it step by step, like a child learning how to walk. Writing can be taught. Teachers do their best. Writing is hard to teach. That's why we have small classes, and that's why we have teachers that are dedicated to the cause. Every one of our teachers loves to write, and every one of our teachers wants to teach others how to write, because it's a gift to be able to write, and it's a gift to be able to read and put what you read onto paper. So we do that, and it's a process. We have an 8-week program. I can't guarantee that somebody's going to be proficient in writing after 8 weeks, but what I can guarantee is vast improvement. So there's only better things to come. And it happens, again, over time and with practice. So when your son is reading a book, start asking him questions. Not just yes and no questions. You know, did you like the book? Did you not like the book? Because those are easy answers. In-depth questions. What did you like about the book? Which character can you relate to? Get him to think about it. And when he's thinking about it, it gives him something that he can write about. And that's what we do in class. We get them thinking, we get them analyzing, we get them writing, so that everybody's writing. And remember, I told you I have 5th and 6th graders that are writing 5-paragraph essays. Well, they all want to be first to read them, because I've created a new form of excellence, and they want to make sure that they say it just the way they want to. Another question here, let's see. Cursive writing is not included in the 6th grade curriculum. We do vocabulary, we do grammar, we do writing and reading comprehension. And we're getting to the point where we're also doing oral presentations, so that the student is in their home and they're actually presenting themselves either in a video or through slides about their writing, but we do not do cursive writing. And we just don't have time because again, what's going to happen is when your child does reach middle school and high school and of course college, although cursive writing is fun and I think it's necessary, they're going to be typing it. So they're not really using, and we've only got like an hour and a half to 2 hours, so we're not going to be doing that. There's no cursive writing in our curriculum. Any other, just again, as I was saying, I just want to say there'll be all different types of writing. In my 8th grade class entering 9th grade, we're doing Shakespeare and poems, a little intro into 9th grade. Children will be tested coming in, children will be tested coming out. So we have kind of like a little bell curve for them. And you as parents, aside from the fact that you're going to see results because you live with your child, you're also going to see it on paper of what we've seen. So if you have a 5th grader, we have a 5th grader that just finished 5th grade going into 6th grade, it'll be a lot of introductory 6th grade material that they're going to be introduced to this year, hopefully in person. But if not, if you decide to stick with our program online, we can still work with you online as well, just as effectively. Another thing I want to say, the best education, as far as I'm concerned, is face-to-face. If we can't do that, we don't have to lack in that. We can do that online as another alternative. It's just different, but we're getting pretty good at it because we had to. Any other questions out there? You were a great audience. You were a little quiet. That's good. Think about it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to talk with you, and I hope to see your children over the summer to give them a great English beginning. It was nice meeting everybody, or at least talking with everybody. Thank you. You're very welcome, and thank you for the comments. I'm getting a bunch of thank yous. You're very welcome, everybody. Good luck. Have a good summer. Nice to talk with you.